we're going to get into the first step into training a protection dog. So with this dog, I'm assuming he's a prey dog. So I've kind of already evaluated him a little bit. And from what I've seen, he's a prey dog. So a prey dog means he's super interested in chasing things, movement. I know he really likes the ball. And I know that when I met him, he didn't bark or growl at me really. He just kind of investigated. So he was still aloof. He didn't want to get in my lap or anything. But at the same time, he wanted to see kind of what was going on, wanted to investigate, and didn't let fear kind of overcome him and get him into the barking and growling. Now that he's here with us and he's been working with Luke for a little bit, Luke is his handler. And it's important that when you're training a protection dog, you have someone for the dog to be able to trust and rely on, because essentially Luke and him are a team against me. Is basically what we're doing, what we're teaching the dog. There needs to be a bond between the handler and the dog to the point where the dog can kind of trust Luke to help him win the game. In protection, the name of the game is going to be getting your object and keeping it, possessing it, and not letting me take it from you. So the object that I'm using is going to be a rag. And typically for dogs that have just started off, especially younger dogs, I'm using the rag. So the rag is going to be something that is pretty easy to grab, pretty easy to bite onto. It is kind of either burlap usually or leather, so it's kind of slick. And the goal of it is I want him to be super obsessed and possessive over this rag. And Luke's job is going to be to encourage him and to show him that, hey, you need to go get that rag. So when you're doing protection, putting a burlap or a leather rag on a line and using that as the item that the dog wants to get. As far as equipment for what he's wearing, you don't want the dog on a slip lead while lunging and trying to get the rag. So what we have him on is a harness, and we have the lead clipped to that, and then we have a flat collar. So we have those two items on him. You can use a flat collar or a harness and clip the lead to it. I prefer using a harness for this because that makes it to where the dog isn't putting any stress on their neck at all when going full force 100% trying to get this rag. So I prefer a harness. I would recommend that you do the same. Clip the lead to the back of the harness. In Luke's position, he's going to stand really stern, real steady, and hold on to the end of the lead. And he's going to encourage the dog to go get that thing that's moving around. Some dogs, they don't know what you're doing, and they're just kind of hesitant or they're just kind of confused. So Luke's going to be there to provide encouragement to go get the rag. My job as the decoy is I'm going to be moving the rag around in prey-like manners. I'm going to be making noises and stuff to kind of encourage the dog to want to get the item and to eventually get frustrated about not being able to get the item. So I'm playing a little bit of a game of keep away with the dog. So it's super important that you have someone who knows what they're doing on the handler side, kind of knows that he needs to be encouraging. And then also the decoy has to know what to do as well. And we're going to kind of go through the process of making sure that the dog is getting the right message based on what he decides to do.